the future isn't set in stone. It's more like a river having different interconnecting pathways with different scenarios happening. But there comes sometimes in the future where a threat becomes so dangerous, so desirable, that when it goes back to the past, everything is at risk. We don't know what evil forces will await us in the past, nor we don't know what different alterations they can cause to the future, thus making the future seem much more like a tsunami and a tidal wave coming straight for you with the unknown in the distance. But as luck would have it, we would have a team of five, later on six, individuals and basically superhumans in of themselves that are up for the task. They are the force from the future. They are a force to be reckoned with, and when time seems lost, they will be there to protect it. They are the law enforcement from the future, and they are ready and here to protect us. And though they have started their adventure 25 years ago, they still are remembered to this day. To join me to learn about the adventures of Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Ladies Universe. I'm White Nerdy, and yes, welcome to 25 years later for Power Rangers Time Force. You know, it's always the Power Rangers series that makes me feel the oldest. Because, well, I was there when it began, and technically, in a sense, I was there when it ended, so, yeah. Power Rangers Time Force is Mighty Morphin Zeo Turbo, In Space Lost Galaxy. Yet, the sixth incarnation of Power Rangers, and what's funny about this is that it's based on a Super Sentai series called Time Ranger. Time Ranger. Subtlety, thy name is Ansaban. So, 25 years later, this series still holds up. It's not like Power Rangers SPD, where it was set in the year 2025, which is why I really wanted to review it last year. No. But instead, this series is, well, it already celebrated its 25th year anniversary, but we're still going to back at it as if it was 25 years later. And similar to what I do with most of the Power Rangers review, I just give you guys a quick overview, a quick retrospective, and then talking about the characters that the series introduces. We're probably going to be here for a while, so be sure to get comfortable. So, what happens in Power Rangers Time Force and what makes it so unique? Well, we'll talk more about that, especially as we get to the characters and especially the plot of the series. So, let's start things off my usual way by talking about what exactly is the plot of Power Rangers Time Force. So, what happens with this force from the future? It is the year 3000, and everything in the future seems to be, well, doing pretty good, especially for the future standards, but of course, as always, there's a dark force in the mist. A mutant force, known as Ranzak, appears in the future, and thus he wants to go back to the past to destroy everything, but there's a force in his way, known only as the Time Force Ranger. Thus at first, Ranzak is thwarted and stopped by Alex, the Time Force Red Ranger of the future. But of course, everything with Power Rangers is not always as it seems, now is it? While being transported to the future, Ranzak is saved by her daughter Nadira, and what's worse is that the Rangers are, of course, unpowered to stop them. But to make matters worse, Ranzak was prepared for the inevitable, and of course, in the process, he eliminates the Red Ranger, and straight up either destroys him or kills him. Desperate to save her fiance and desperate to save the past and also the future, Jen takes a small team of Rangers to the far distant past of 2001. Where the team almost comes face to face with Ranzak and even meets a new ally, an ancestor of Alex that can harness the power of the Red Ranger Morpher, which is what they need. And thus a new team is born, the Time Force Rangers, and will they be able to save both the past and the future is unknown, but this is a force definitely to be reckoned with. plot is really damn good for a Power Rangers series. Too damn good, if you can believe that. Like, Time Force, in my opinion, probably had the most interesting and well in-depth story, especially and more specifically with the villain Ranzik, played by Vernon Wells, who is phenomenal in this role. See, for Ranzik, he was born a mutant, and unfortunately, I don't really want to spoil too much, but let's just say that the future is not as perfect as you'd expect, especially with Ranzik's backstory. But you do feel bad for the guy because, well, no one would really help him because of his deformity and because the fact he was a mutant. So Time Force was trying to tie it in with Marvel Comics' X-Men, for example. But he did it really damn well. But what good is a villain without his nemesis? Nemesises. Nemesi. Power Ranger team. So, what is Ranzik good against when it comes to this team? Well, there are, as I said, 6 members, and we have quite a few to talk about, especially I made a list when I went back and watched Time Force of each and every episode that I must highlight for the importance of everybody on this team as I do per every Power Ranger season. Also, what surprises me is that this series won in a poll 90 votes to 10 votes for Lost Galaxy. And in case anyone's wondering, we'll get to it. Probably this summer. So, with that all said and done, let's take a look at our force for the future. So, let's take a look at this new Power Rangers cast and crew, starting with Wes, the Time Force Red Ranger. Or the new Time Force Red Ranger, excuse me. We'll talk more about that later. Played by Jason Font. Wesley is a snotty rich kid who basically met this team just at a whim as he happened to be in the right place at the right time, not knowing it was his destiny to join them. You might as well say Wesley was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and he had never had to fight for anything in his entire life since it was always handed down to him from his father. But even when he was questioned by the, well, unquestionable, he accepted it for what it was, and he knew that there was something important about this new team that he just met. At first, his newfound team was not very happy with him and his lifestyle, because Wesley acted more like a kid than he's supposed to as this fearless, important leader. But Wesley had the hero's calling. He knew he was destined for more, for something bigger, for something better than himself, and he definitely proved it once he joined the team. As Wes is willing to do what it takes to prove himself to this newfound team, especially since he had a crush and almost relationship with Jen, technically the leader of Time Force. As Wes might look like nothing more than just the son of a rich businessman, but in fact he's a lot more of a hero than meets the eye when he's willing to fight for them no matter what. Especially going against his prick of a father to prove a point, that he's more than what his father made him out to be. He's more than just the son of a rich man. He's a hero in red, and he's gonna prove himself no matter what it takes and no matter the cost or the consequences, as Red is definitely the Red Ranger, Wes is definitely the Red Ranger you want in your corner. Lucas, the Time Force Blue Ranger, played by either Michael Copan or Michael Coupon. Lucas comes from the future 3000, and in the future he's a race car driver, but not only that, he seems to have a very protective instinct specifically with the ladies. But despite Lucas's tough demeanor, he's actually a really nice guy. Cares about people, cares about where they came from, what they are, and will try to fight for them no matter what. Lucas you might well look at as the big brother of the team. He seems to be the most responsible, but at times he's the one that often makes the most ridiculous and stupid choices. But when the going gets tough or the tough gets going, I recommend nobody else that I'd want by my side than Lucas, especially to save me in a heartbeat or to be there for me when I really need him. Trip, the Time Force Green Ranger, and probably the youngest of the team, played by Kevin Kleinberg. Trip is from the future, but he's an alien from the future, as funny as that sounds. He's a Zybian, he's able to read emotions and sometimes see into the future, which mostly helps him out. Despite being the youngest of the team, Trip is honestly the smartest of the team, as he's able to figure things out and put things together rather quickly. Despite Trip's young demeanor, and sometimes he can be easily tricked and fooled, he still tried to do his best and he tried to own up and try to prove his part of the Rangers. Trip is the character that goes through a lot of the emotions, always thinking that he's not good enough for the team, almost seems like he's not even worthy of the team, but he proves his strength more times than once. As he might mostly be the youngest, and sometimes even the childish of the team, you want nobody better at your side than Trip, because in a heartbeat he'd be there for you in a flash. Katie, the Time Force Yellow Ranger, played by Deborah Estelle Phillips. Katie, much like her peers, comes from the year 3000, and also, much like her peers, she's a protected big sister, especially since she possesses super strength. Despite being like a protected big sister, even Katie knows that there's mostly things that she should do for her team, and especially being protective, and especially being happy for those around her. And that's what makes Katie such a great ranger. She has something to fight for, her family, and she knows that eventually one day she'll go back and she visit them. It's her protective instincts that makes her such a great ranger and such an impactful one, as she has something that she wants to protect and fight for, her family and her friends. And no matter the cost, no matter what life throws Katie's way, she will always be there to fight for the person and protect them, no matter the cost and no matter what happens to her. And she knows that she's destined for something bigger and greater than anything and that she could ever imagine. And like a protective big sister, she'll be there to help you no matter what.
All right, Katie. I'll never let you guys down again. That's our Katie. Let's do it.
Jen, the Time Force Pink Ranger and technically leader of the Power Ranger Time Force, played by Erin Cahill. Jen comes from the year 3000, and in the year 2000 she has a fiancé named Alex, who she's willing to do anything for and to do anything with. That in fact, she almost had her future perfect with Alex. He proposed to her, she loves him, and they were about ready to spend eternity together, but life had other solutions. And she was devastated when her fiancé was murdered right in front of her, and in fact, this raised her into becoming a good ranger and to go against people and travel to the past. Jen is like that younger sister who's trying to prove herself, really trying to move herself up in the world, and you can really sense that, especially in Erin Cahill's performance as Jen. Jen is a tough but dedicated soldier. She wants to best herself, she wants to move up in the world, and definitely she seeks vengeance and revenge upon Ransik for murdering her fiancé. Jen might be the most hardest and badass of the Rangers. She definitely is the one that has the most heart. And sometimes she does have a tough demeanor, but she loves her teammates all the same. And when the tough gets going, there is one woman you want behind you that can kick 10 times of ass and be there for you no matter what. And that person is Jen.
I won't let his death be in vain. Pink Ranger,
Eric, the Time Force Quantum Ranger, played by Daniel Southworth. Eric is a member of the Silver Guardians and a really old friend of West, so much to the point that he still hates West because he's a rich son of a bitch. Eric strives on being a good soldier and trying to do his best and prove his worth to everybody, but mostly no one gives it the time of day or the time of chance, especially since he has really no friends. Things aren't made better for Eric when he learns about a Quantum Ranger, and thus he wants to know more about this, so what he does is that he ends up stealing the Morpher. The reason why Eric did this was because he was sick and tired of always putting down upon, tired of always not being there for people, tired of always feeling like he's worthless. And thus at first Eric was born, and thus Eric decided to use the quantum powers for his own selfish gains and personal gains. Especially because he always wanted to prove that he was better than West, that he'll always be better than West, that he won't need nobody except himself and only him by his side. But despite his harsh beginnings, he becomes a valued member of the team and really values all the friendships and friends that he made along the way. So whenever that you need some quantum power, call upon Eric.
Power! Hey, it looks like Eric's got control of the Q-Rex.
Yeah, it sure does.
Attack the mutant!
And so, Power Ranger Time Force has come and gone, and I don't really want to spoil the series because I like to feel that these videos really help to impact my point that I'm trying to make with people. Like, you should definitely check out the older series, and Time Force is no exception. It's a well done series. There's a lot of moments where they try to rush through things, but really, that's a damn good series. Mostly center point, or in the center, the big three in this series, much like, Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man for the Marvel Universe, or Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman for the DC Universe. The big three of Power Ranger Time Force is Wes, Eric, and Jen. And you'll definitely see why if you check this series out. So, 25 years later, does Power Ranger Time Force still hold up? Yes, it's a really damn good series, very impressively so. And despite there are some moments that are not like big or epic like some earlier or some later Power Ranger series gets, it is still a really damn good episode, especially for Jason Font to set his feet in stone as one of the greatest Red Rangers ever, and for Daniel Southworth to have a much bigger career past this, including voicing Virgil in most of the Devil May Cry games. So, if you want a voice from the future, and if you want a really good time from the past, or a great blast from the past, then please do check out Power Rangers Time Force. It's amazing, it's fantastic, it's awesome, and it is personally one of my favorite Power Ranger series ever. I wouldn't put it as far up as like Jungle Fury or Zeo in my opinion, but even in saying that, it comes pretty damn close. So check out Power Rangers Time Force when you can, and have yourself a great blast from the past. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I have an upload. Follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And tell me who is your favorite Power Ranger Time Force character in the comments down below. And don't worry, I know that about a bunch of you are probably going to be clamoring for it, but either come June or July, we'll check out Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. So, and I've already have an episode list of things to check out, and plus, that video might be longer than this one because there's a lot to talk about. It might even be a fucking two-parter, who knows. But thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to let me know your own opinion on Power Ranger Time Force, and happy 25th anniversary to Time Force. Were you there when it first premiered like I was? I'm old. Or weren't you? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I believe universe. I want nerdy keep it on. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I can upload. And as always, guys, I believe universe. I want nerdy keep it on. And until next time, and as always, take care.